Hello and thank you for watching my 248 video tutorial. In the previous lectures we have added the move functionality to the tiles on our game field, so now when I press the arrow keys on my keyboard our tiles will move but they cannot merge. So in this lecture I'd like to add some code that will be responsible for merges in our game. I will exit play mode and I will go to our MonoDevelop. And before adding any code to our methods make one move down and make one move up that will be responsible for merges, I will go to our tile script. And remember, we have talked about the rules of our 248 game, and especially the rule that says that our tiles can be merged only once per turn. So to avoid our tiles from merging multiple times, I will add another field to our tile class, which will be a public boolean, so it will just hold the value of true or false, and I will call this boolean variable merged this turn, and I'll set it equal to false. So when we will apply merging to any of our tiles, we will set its value merged this turn to true, so we will know that this tile has already participated in a merge and it cannot be merged anymore. And once I have done that, I can go to our game manager, and here in our methods, for example, make one move down index, I will make another comment that will say merge block, so that we know that this code will be responsible for our merges. So I will write if, and I would like to check if we have two consecutive tiles with the same numbers. So I will write line of tiles, and I will select a tile with the number I, and I will check what its number is right now, and I will write double equals so that we will check if it is equals to the number on the next tile. So I'll write line of tiles I plus 1 dot number if we have two neighbor tiles with the same number, and I will check another condition and I can switch to the next line if our tile with index I hasn't been merged this turn. So I will check merge this turn equals to false, and I will check the same condition for another tile. So line of tiles with the index I plus 1 merge this turn also equals false. So the conditions that I'm checking here for is that we have two neighboring tiles and they have the same number on them, and another condition that I'm checking is that none of these tiles has been merged this turn. Another thing that I should check is whether one of these tiles number is equal to 0, so I'll have to check line of tiles and I'll select a tile with index I dot number not equal to 0, and I will add this logical AND statement. I will start a new code block right after this if statement. I've made a little typo here. I will insert O in this block word. And to merge our tiles I have to do a couple of simple steps. So first our line of tiles with the index I dot number, and here I will use this interesting operator multiply and equals, and I'll write 2. So what this will do is it will take our number for this tile, and let's say it was a 4, and then it will take it and multiply it by 2, so it will get an 8, and then it will assign the value of 8 to this tile's number. And next what I have to do, I have to clear the tile with the index I plus 1, so I'll say tile with the index I plus 1 number equals 0, and to prevent further merges for this tile I will write line of tiles with the index I, and I will access merge this turn variable and I will set it to true. And the last thing that I have to do here is I will say return true, so that our method make one move down index returns true if we have made a merge on this turn, because if the merge was made other moves and merges might be available. So first we enter this for loop, and this for loop is here to scan all the tiles in our line of tiles for available moves and merges. Once we enter this for loop, first we encounter this move block, and if there are any moves available, first we will make all the moves. So before we even get to merges we have already made all the moves, and only after there are no available moves anymore we can switch to merging. And once we have no available moves or merges, the execution will just enter this method. The whole line will be scanned for all available moves and merges, and if it isn't possible to make elementary moves in this line, we will just exit our for loop and our method make one move down index will return false. And this means that the execution of our while loop will be interrupted and the turn will be over for this line. So now I can copy this merge block and paste it into this method right after our move block. And here I will just change a couple of indexes for this to work. So here we are checking the tile with number I, but we have to compare the number on this tile to the number on the tile with the index I-1 this time, and we have to check merge this turn on the tile with index I-1, and we have to make the tile with index I-1 empty. And there is another little modification that I would like to make before we check our merging mechanic in Unity. As you can see, if the tile has been merged, we are accessing this merge this turn value and setting it to true. But if we have set this merge this turn value to true for this tile, there should be a place where we will reset all these merged flags, because if we don't do this, this tile will not participate in other merges during the whole course of our game. So I will create another little method that will be called reset merged flags. It will be private void, and I will call it reset merged flags, like this. And this method is going to be very simple. I will just say for each, and open these parentheses, tile t in our array all tiles. I will say t dot merge this turn equals false. This method will just browse through all our tiles on the game field and it will set their merge flags to false. And here in the beginning of our move method, I will call this newly created reset merge flags, because it just makes sense. Right in the beginning of our move there are no tiles that have been merged this turn, so all the flags should be set to false. So now I can go to our file menu and hit save, and we also have to save this tile script. And now I can go to Unity and test our merging mechanic. So I will start the game by hitting this play button, and I have to generate some tiles by hitting G so that we have some merges available. And once I start moving the tiles on the game field, we can see that they merge together, and then by hitting G I can generate more tiles. So all the main mechanics in our game are now working, but we can see that we have this little bug that after some time, if I start hitting G once again, we don't get any new tiles. In the next lecture I will fix all the bugs that we currently have, and I will add automatic tile generation, so that when we make a turn, one new tile will be generated on the game field, and we won't have to press G on the keyboard anymore for new tiles to appear. So thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.